Hey guys, I'm back and I'm going to be doing a February budget for y'all. Set this up for the month and I will be using just these 2 sheets out of the kit. And those are listed in my shop. I will link that down below if you're interested. And then the rest of the kit I will be setting up for you guys hopefully soon. Also, God, I was trying to get these videos out very quickly for February, and here we are, and February's already started and I'm just now doing this stuff, so I am sorry. This is what we set up our monthly view and it ended up looking like. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and we will start on our February budget. If you watched my last one, you saw that I like to do my February budget and my paycheck budget together. I don't actually go through and do this every week. I plan it out for the month and see kind of like where I stand with things. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start laying down my stuff. I will probably draw lines off camera because that's not fun to watch and it takes too long. So my February budget, my income, and I leave 3 lines for income. And I leave a lot of lines, actually, more than what my bills are, but I might need to add stuff, you never know. But the 3 that I leave for income are what it is. It's always going to be 3 lines, no more, no less. So, well, it might be less at some point, but it is no more. So there's that. And my fixed go over here. And I like to put my fixed is smaller over here, so it's like a longer line because I have more fixed than I do variables. So that one stays pretty, it's a longer list, if that makes sense. So that's why my income kind of goes on the same side as my variable, so that I'm taking up less room on my budget sheet, so that I have room for that paycheck budget, because I like to do it all on one sheet. So I'm just going to probably put 15 lines for my fixed expenses. I'm just going to stick it there. I know that's not in the right spot, but it's going to hold my mark. So then I know that that is where my variables will end, is on the same line as that one. So you'll see what I mean when I said that's a longer one and I put my variables on the same side. I make these stickers the same width as my income so that I could do that. And then on my kit, I do have another spot for other expenses. If you label them differently, or I don't know, if you have more stuff than I have. I really don't have that long of a bill list, but they're high amounts, so so then my line will go here and then I'll have 3 sections there. So underneath that just goes my paycheck budget, and now I can budget 4 times a month for my paycheck, because my husband and I are now going to get paid on opposite Fridays. So my husband is super excited about it, to have money coming in every week. So, okay, that's what we're doing now. So I've got these stickers here, and I like to do it this way. You could easily use this on a full sheet of paper and do it like horizontally. I do mine vertically because I don't need that much room. I really don't. I don't do like a typical paycheck budget like everybody else. I don't go super in depth. I'm not listing my bills again because I've already done that once. I don't want to do that every week. I can already see them. I say I've done it once. I've technically done it twice because I've done it on the monthly view too. So I just don't like the redundancy of it. So I do it this way. So it is quite a bit different than other people, but it works for me. I think this is the one that I did, and I didn't resize that yet. So those aren't going to fit very good, but I have them resized on another kit, on the I've reformatted this. I just printed this ahead of time for myself when I was using 3 pay periods, so it wasn't a big deal. But those don't really fit. So I think I'm going to stagger them a little bit. But again, this is just the one I printed for myself, but I have fixed that on my next, on my actual, the sheets in my shop. That thing. If I could friggin' talk. So I'm just gonna stagger them like this instead. That way they fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw some lines off camera for you guys, and then I will go fill it out for you with numbers. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, got my lines drawn, and we're gonna go ahead and go in with the monies, the numbers. So I'm gonna try really hard to get my numbers right this time. Last time I missed a whole paycheck for my husband because I'm used to doing it every 2 weeks and not every month. So I have got VA money coming in, and that is $1,000 budgeted. My husband, and we greatly under budget him at $1,200 a paycheck, not a month. So $2,400, and he usually makes anywhere from 17 to like 23, but that's with overtime, so I don't like to budget that. And I have started a new job, so mine is going to be lower than what it should be every month. So let me just calculate that real quick because I'm not sure. Probably 23, so close to my husband's amount. I will be officially making more money than him now. That's exciting. I like to rub it in his face because he doesn't like that. So then I just list my variable expenses here, the ones that are going to change every month, which are not a lot, and these fixed expenses, which is the majority of my bills. So I've got rent, which is $11.85. Daycare is fixed, and we wrote that twice last time. We only need to write it once here. I just wrote it twice before so that I could see it visually. So a month is $340, and then Birchbox and Ipsy, those are both 10. And then I've got Netflix, which is 14. And then I have Cox, which is our cable. I'm not sure if that's going to be a fixed or a variable. We haven't had cable in so long. I don't even know how that works. So I'm just going to put that over here on the variable. I do know that this month is more expensive than what the next months are going to be because that includes installation and all of that stuff. So I know Sprint, our cell phone bill, is different every month, but I go ahead and budget $350 for it. My husband's crazy, y'all. I have told you this. Planet Fitness, that's the same. Maybe after I have this baby, I will actually be able to use my gym membership. My car payment does not change. That is $500. I mean, I guess technically it's not the same every month with the fees and stuff, but we pay a straight $500 every month. I think it's really like $450. So we pay a little up, but not much. Prime Video doesn't change. Progressive, I think that's a fixed one. And that one is one we pay every month instead of the every 6. So we do pay a little bit more to do it monthly. But that's what works for us. My husband's got Apple Music, which is $8. And then my husband's car. Okay, so what I have not listed is our allowance. And $3.25 twice, $6.50, and then I do not have groceries allowanced, and that is $400. I think that's usually all I put there. I'm gonna look back on my last month to see, because I forget. I feel like that was a longer list. Because I had electric, which I'm not paying this month because we just moved, and for whatever reason it's not due until March, and all of our utilities will be on one bill, so that will be cool. And I'm assuming that'll be variable, so that's where that'll go next month. But right now it's not on there, so it's not an expense I have to worry about. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump down to my paycheck budgeting. Like I said before, I like to separate it into my pay periods. Last month I was doing just 3. This month I'll be doing 4 because we're getting paid on opposite schedule now, so it's just going to work out to do 4. So I'm going to go ahead and use the rest of these words here. I only use the income, expenses, and rollover, but you could go ahead and use any of those. I have used these other topics categories in the past and they work well. I just kind of lump like my grocery and my allowance in with my expenses. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do this, because I do this differently than most people. So I just write down income, and so for that first pay period I like to write down how much we're gonna get paid. So referring back to my list here, we get paid the 1st, and we will get paid, twice in that pay period. So that would be $2,200 for that pay period. So for my first pay period, I've got $2,200 to pay all my bills. And I think that is my biggest expenses too, is during those first 2 weeks. So, or that first week. Yep. So might not make it, I'm not sure. So then I just go here and I use an expenses. So the expenses is going to include everything, my bills, allowance, groceries, and here is where I would list my sinking funds also. But again, about to go on maternity leave, new job, new house, I'm not doing them right now. We'll start them whenever the budget allows for us to start sinking funds. It is what it is. So for expenses, again, we're gonna flip back to here, and here is why I've got my daycare listed twice, so that I can just add all of these up. And what I did not do was put groceries in, and I'm probably gonna forget to calculate it now. So I'm just going to add all of those up real quick. And if I am over budget, which I am not, I thought I was going to be, but I could easily flop this allowance to be the next couple times instead of every 2 weeks. I mean, instead of, every other week. I could have flopped it on the opposite weeks, but it worked out. I have enough. I just don't have much left over. So that is pretty much taking all of my first paycheck. So then I go over here and I use this rollover. And what I use rollover for is whatever money is left over, I roll over to the next pay period. And I keep doing that until the end, until our 4th pay period, and whatever is rolled over would go into savings. So that is $216 is what I've got rolled over. So I just like to write that up here. And I'm going to add that to my income, because technically that is what money I have to spend. So I have what I'm making, and then I have what money is left over. And this should be what's left over, as long as I am not spending outside of our allowance and our budgeted items. That should be in the account. Should be, if we don't get crazy. So I am going to look at what we make for the next pay period, which again is just my paycheck. This is only 1 week of work, since that is what's going to be on that paycheck. I've just started the job. So that one's going to be very low for us also. So hopefully we can make it through that pay period, because I've got 2 high dollars, and this is where I can probably move that allowance down to the next pay period, because that's not going to be important. And that's probably what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure that I do have enough money to pay my actual bills, and I'll move the allowance down here, which it probably should have been anyway. So, income, 700 is what I'm budgeting for my 1 week of work. So then I've got 916 as my income, okay? And then I will do the same thing, my expenses sticker here. And then I will go over here and calculate how much I'm spending in bills for that week. So I think I'm going to move the allowance down to the next pay period, just because I think that's what's going to work best. So I'm just going to do these two. And that is 520. I guess I could probably put the allowances there, but that's okay. And then rollover sticker again. So we will see what we have rolled over. So that would be 916 from 520. 396 is what I should have rolled over. So again, I'm going to throw that up top here, and we're going to add that to our income for that pay period. So it's kind of redundant, but it really helps me get a visual of what we're going to be looking at every week, every pay period. So it helps me. I'm visual, so maybe it'll help you. So we are on this pay period now. So what's coming in is my husband's $1,200. And this paycheck is where we're not going to be hurting so bad from paycheck to paycheck. So that'll be nice. We'll kind of recoup a little bit here. And then all goes well, we should have a good bit to put into savings. I say that and I don't really know. So then I am on this section here, and we added my allowance there, so can't forget to add that. Guess what I did, y'all? Forgot to add my groceries in. I told you I was gonna forget, and I did. So that's cool. So I think I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna fix that for y'all. It's gonna look bad, but so I'm gonna add 100 because I do 400 for the month. So I'm gonna go ahead and do 100 here and here also, so that it is for every week. So I will fix it now that I have realized what I have done. Roll over. Before I calculate that for y'all, I'm gonna go back over here and fix my mistakes. So that'd be 620, and this would be 2084. So that should be 116. 116. Let me make sure. That would be 196. Okay, sorry, it's ugly now, but it's accurate. And I'm glad I realized it on camera for y'all, because mistakes do happen and I make them frequently. So $13.96 is my income here, and my total expenses is $950. So my rollover is $446. So I'm gonna write that up here. And this last week is my paycheck, gonna be my real paycheck. What I should look for every week. And really it should be more. I'm training on day shift, so it's less. But I will be going to night shift, and I get about $3 to $4 more an hour for night shift. So when night shift comes around, I will be making even more. So that'll be cool. So then I go through and just do the same thing. The only thing that's going to be different during my 4th pay period is instead of having the rollover, that leftover will go to savings or bills, or debt. But right now, that's a whole nother story. Right now I'm not paying any of that. We are in the middle of bankruptcy, so that's not happening. So I don't have to worry about all that. So I am going to go through with my income is going to be 16 that week, and then expenses. And I really should have started this budgeting thing a long time ago, but y'all, it was hard to come into a married life where it was already established. My husband had all of his stuff established, and he just, anyway, different story, different day. So I'm just going to add my expenses here. And that would be $823. And so we really do have quite a bit left over for savings. I probably could have done my sinking funds this month, but again, we're kind of nervous to do that because maternity leave, I'm not gonna have pay. So we're not wanting to do that right now. I'd rather put it in savings so that we have money for the next month and a half that I won't have any pay. So that's why we're kind of holding off on the sinking funds at the moment. So looks like my income's $20.46 for that pay period, and our bills are only $823. So I should have about $1,200, $1,223 to put off to the side. So I'm really hoping all of this will help me during maternity leave. So that is it, guys. That's my budget for this month, and I will be coming back with you with a video with the rest of my tracking stuff and how I keep up with it throughout the month. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.